Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch. Every once in a while, we talk about something else crafty, but today it is all cross stitch. If you are new, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play and giving my channel a try. I hope you like what you'll see and hit like, subscribe, and all that good stuff and keep coming back for more. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for tuning in and interacting with me and sharing my love of stitching. I really appreciate it. If you were here last week, you know that I was faced in the other direction. And with my windows that don't have shades up top there, it was bringing in the sun. As you can see, it's in that corner. So I've turned you a little bit. If I turn you too much, that's the kitchen right there. So you'd see my stove and all that. So I'm gonna try this angle. I think the lighting will be better. It's certainly not crazy washed out lighting, and hopefully we'll be able to see all the stitching. If not, it is a work in progress, like all my stitching pieces. So thank you so much for your patience, and thank you for your suggestions and all of that with that too, because that was super helpful, and I played around with some ideas of what I wanted to do. So here we go. Let's get going. I have a finish. I have some pieces that you saw last week. I have some pieces that you haven't seen in 2021 at all. And I have a couple new starts. So I have a decent amount that I touch this week, a little bit in some cases each day. But that's good. That's just, sometimes it's just nice to get your hands on a piece for even for a short period of time. All right, finish first. Finish is, you know what, and I did not, you know what I didn't do? I didn't upload in my iPad the digital patterns, but that's okay. There's only two, and this one's a finish, so we'll just wing it this week. I thought I started early getting ready this morning, and for some reason, I still forgot to do things. But this finish comes from Stone Street Stitchworks. It's the Cobblestone crossing. I'm calling it a finish for now because I did not do the date up top, and I don't know if I'm going to do initials, dates, motifs. I know somebody had suggested maybe some embellishments. I don't know. I don't have a clue yet with it, so I figure it'll come to me when I get a chance to. I know Felicia from Mouse Potato Designs had asked me had I started with the scrapbooking, because I want a scrapbook, basically have a cross-stitch scrapbook. With being between Connecticut and Delaware, I haven't figured out, I don't have my stuff. I brought down a few things down here to Delaware, but I didn't bring down enough of what I needed, so I have to figure out what I exactly need and then have it maybe like a go bag, of craft go bag. I already do that with cross stitching. So this way I would like to get started with some of the scrapbooking too. So we'll see, that's coming. And that's might be, this is probably where this will be. So I have time to think about how I want to finish it. Here it is. Now this is Old West from Color and Cotton, 18 count. It's a great, look at that. It's a great neutral. And you know, I'm not one that does just neutrals, but I love a good neutral. And with Stone Street, their patterns look so good on neutrals. The few that I've done, I have one that's in progress, that it's a Christmas one that I'll probably bring out soon. And then I also had done one of the coffee cup ones, and now this one. And I really do like kind of a neutral shade for their colors. This Old West, it was a Fabric of the Month piece from Color and Cotton, but I did notice, I was just checking out to see what Color and Cotton has ready to ship, and in 18 count, I didn't look at all the counts, they did have some Old West available. I think it was, you know, the 13 by 17 piece. So if you want a good neutral and you haven't tried it, check your count, because they do ready to ship by type of fabric, and they also do it by counts. So if you have a favorite either fabric or count, check it. It's a great one. It really is a nice neutral to use if you want a good neutral. So it's done. It's done. It'll go in the pile of finished pieces. All right, I think I have it set up here too, because I'm on this side. We have the higher counter, kind of like where you can put bar stools right here, and then obviously the regular counter where I have my sink and stuff. So I think I have a place to put things now, rather than just kind of either throwing them on the floor or trying to figure out what to do with them. This is the other one that I don't, that's the digital. The rest are all paper copies. And oops, Shamrock, no scratching. Do your dogs do that? Do they scratch before they settle down? I don't mind if he does it in his bed, but this floor is new. And there we go. And so I was a little worried there. I don't know if his nails would scratch it all up. Sorry, I digress. Anyway, this is also a digital, and I don't have the cover copy because I just grabbed this thinking, oh, I'd have my iPad, but that's okay. You've seen it quite often, and I will show it again next time. I'll make a note to make sure I don't forget my iPad next time. But this is Autumn Towne, and it is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. It's a great piece with autumn colors, and it's a lot of fun to stitch if you are thinking about something autumny and you want the nice bright autumn colors. That's where I am so far. This is 18 count. Today is everything is 18 count. 18 count fallen leaf from To Die For fabrics. And what did I do? I finished up. We have another house. So we have these two houses done. And I was kind of bouncing around. So I thought I might do some of the sky up here. And I did, you know, a little bit of tree. The one thing this is where a page break is. And that's the one thing that is my least favorite thing to do when there's page breaks, is to go sideways. Because I don't finish the page down and then start again. I try to stitch into it. So there's a lot of extra counting to make sure everything is right and correct. I don't mind it so much when this is also where a page break is. So now I'm going to be going into the next page. Well, maybe a little bit farther. I don't mind it so much down this way because you're kind of going in a row and then you just keep going. Here is where I kind of do anything I can to stop. So that's why I was like, I don't feel like doing that counting. So I figured I'll finish this house. So that house is done. I'm really liking this one. I didn't know what to do yesterday, and I'm very heavy on autumn patterns this week. And I flipped through and I looked, and I had some little stitching time in the afternoon, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this one. So that's the one I pulled out. And I really am enjoying it. So it probably will continue to see stitching time. I kind of rotate in and out with some of my stitching pieces, some that you'll see from week to week, some that you won't. But that one I do really like. And so far I haven't gotten kind of tired of it, even though it's a bigger piece. All right, now we're going Christmas for a minute. This is one that you saw last week. It's the Prairie Schooler, Santa's Revisited 2. And I am currently stitching, I love all three. I'm currently doing this one, 1984. I was a freshman in high school. I remember appropriately named the Van Halen album, 1984. Yes, I was a Van Halen. Still am a Van Halen fan. I can't decide which lead singer I like more because they had a really good album with Sammy Hagar too. So we'll have to debate that some point if anybody else is a Van Halen fan. Okay, anyway. I'm going back a lot of years now. Here it is. This is done on an 18 count Jade fabric from Picture This Plus. And as usual, I'm loving my Santas on this. This Santa is quick. He's going much quicker than some of like the 2021 and the 2020 did for me. This week, I did all of his tree that he's holding, some more of his beard. There's the start of his sack of toys. And then we have, some more of him. And then I also started to fill in the border. And I didn't spend, this wasn't like, okay, all day I just sat and stitched. But this one really stitches up quickly. So I'm really happy with this one. And I'm really loving it, as usual, on this Jade fabric. So that's what he looks like right now. If you're looking for some Prairie Schooler Santas, this is a fun one because all three Santas are really fun. And they have 3 different borders, but they're fun borders as well. So I'm looking for, hopefully I didn't show you the Santa on the back. I'm looking forward to stitching all of them at some point. That was just the first one that I gravitated to. And with this one, as we discussed, I changed his face 3864, 407 for face and cheeks, and then his beard I changed to 3865. And same thing with the cuffs on his coat and stuff, and the trim, that will all be 3865 as well. Because the called for DMC was a little bit too creamish, beige-ish, and I wanted to go not bright white, not B5200 level, but some white. So that's that one. Okay, let me put this all together so we know what's what. Okay, then I decided to come away from autumn for a little bit and go back to my color experiment. Plus, the stitching day was Wednesday. Megan had a game on Wednesday, so we were driving up to Pennsylvania, and so I needed some car stitching. I only got one way because by the time the game ended, and then they had kind of like a tailgate, you know, for the kids and the parents afterwards and all that, it was too dark to stitch on the way home. So I didn't get quite as much as I was hoping to get done, but, you know, not too bad. It's Summer in Nantucket, and it's from Plum Street Samplers. That's what it looks like. And I'm doing it 2 different fabric colorways, so you can see a little bit different how the colors look. I'll show them up real quick side by side. Then we'll talk a little closer. This one is Summer Storm, from To Die For Fabrics, 18 count. And this one is Gilded, 18 count, from Mystic Fabrics. And, actually, I don't know, maybe I'll do side by side this way. Showing them to you side by side. So you can see, actually that can just go in front. What did I do? So I really was curious what the blue would look like. This is kind of like a row, and that'll go across the entire piece. A row of water, kind of to differentiate what's above land and then the whale and the fish below water. So really interesting to see the differences in blues. And then I continued to work on the house, and that was a good car stitching. As you can see, I ran out of time. We got there because I would have then completed the edge here, and then I still have windows to do and so on and so forth. But how that red looks in the 2 different colors is really interesting, and definitely I knew the blue would look different, so that was a lot of fun to see. I do not know, because I was curious then bringing in a new color from the fish down here. I'm not sure what color it is. If it's not one that may show up how I think on either one of these, I might change that one a little bit. We'll see. I haven't gotten there yet. And I'm a little concerned about the whale on the blue, because you can see the white on the blue. It shows up, but it's not super, it's not something you see really well, and the whale is all in the white. So I might do like a combo of either just do a light blue, like a really light blue, or do a combo, 1 strand of white and 1 strand of a blue, and kind of mix it that way. We'll see when I get there. It probably would look fine on here, but I may do whatever I choose on this, I'll probably do as well, so you can see the differences with it. And again, for my own kind of color experiment. But that's how they look so far. I have kept, as to this point, I have kept all of the called fors. I am doing it in the DMC as opposed to the Classic Colorworks and the Gentle Art. I am using the DMC conversions. And that's how far we've gotten. This one was a good car stitch because it was a repeating pattern on the house, so it was really nice and easy. I didn't have to really look at it a lot, especially because I would do a strand in, I literally do a strand in one and then, or 2, strand or 2 in one, and then I go to the other one. So I'm kind of repeating what I'm stitching. So it makes it super easy because I can even just look at the previous one. I don't even have to look at the chart sometimes. So that's coming along, and I'm excited to see where it goes. All right, now, the next one you're gonna see, I'm pretty sure, I don't think I even stitched this one at all in 2021. This hasn't seen the light of day since 2020. Since it's autumn, I figured I would pull it out. I thought about it periodically over the summer, and it just didn't call to me enough. I like the pattern, and I just figured, you know what, now's the time. It's called Let's Talk Autumn from Hands On Design. I think at this point she has all 4 seasons out, I think. I am doing this completely different though. It is not being done on the black fabric, which looks lovely. It just, I decided to change things completely up. And change up I did. Let me just, you know what? That's fine. I can hold it. You know what? But I want to hold it so you can see it better. So I am going to fold that a little bit. That's what it looks like so far. I'll give you a little bit extra on the side. This is done, sadly, and I meant to look up, but then Mo got talking to me this morning. He took the day off today, so just to kind of relax. He always seems on the front end of the year to kind of save his days in case, you know, you need it for things, but we really didn't vacation this summer. Actually didn't vacation at all. So he has extra time. So he figured today's a beautiful day. It's a Friday. Why not just relax and chill and do whatever? So he was chatting to me this morning and I meant to look up and then it totally got out of my head. This fabric is from a company called Hand Dyed Happiness. And I found her on Etsy. And back in about May of 2020, there still are shortages in a lot of the different fabrics in some ways, but that's when the shortages were really hitting hard and you couldn't get a lot of the fabrics. And so at the time she put her shop on vacation, and I want to say now the shop's not even there anymore. I meant to check, because what I did was, you know, if a shop goes on vacation with Etsy, you can put a little, you can put your email in to be notified when they come back. And I did that, and I never heard. And I think once I was wondering, and I checked, and I think it was gone. I do not know if she ever had or has a standalone, or if she just decided, given all the problems getting fabrics, it just wasn't worth it, and she stopped dyeing, which I am super sad about, because this is the second of her fabrics that I've used, and they're beautiful. The colors she has are beautiful. The fabric is beautiful, and I'll keep checking, and one day, if she ever does pop back up, I'll let you know. This fabric was called Autumn Sunrise. I'm just going to show you. Look how beautiful that fabric is. It is gorgeous. And you can see why I'm sad that she's not, as far as I know. If anybody has heard and knows if she's doing fabrics again, let me know, because her work is beautiful. But that's where I am. You know, part of why this got put aside was because I changed fabrics. I mean, obviously, look how different this looks. Some of the choices for the leaves, really, that was really the only thing that got to me, weren't working on this fabric. And so I've had to stitch leaves and rip them out at 3-4 times. I don't even know. So I kind of got a little frustrated with it. I think those 2 will work. I still have to come up with a few more colors, but so far so good. You know, obviously it depends, although where the leaves would be, they're here, and then there's some down here, but it keeps the same basic color, so I don't think I'd have to worry about like a change, like if I was over here where you'd have a change of that. I think I'll be okay. But once I figure it out, oops, that's the tag, I'll be much better with it. But I did most of, or I finished, I was halfway done with this. I think I have a little bit by the wheels, finished the word, started working down here, and so on and so forth. But I really like how this looks on this. Totally different. But for me, as long as the white popped, then I would play around with the colors from there. If I can ever figure out the colors that will work on changes I've made, I'll share them. I've never been super happy with 100% the choices, so I have not ever shared them because I don't really know what I'm doing. But if you wanted to do it on something other than the black, I'd be happy to once I know what's what. But I was happy to stitch on this fabric again and see this pretty color, and it's a fun pattern. And with all the words, the words go fast, and then all the little other pieces are fairly small. So it's a quicker stitch, an easy stitch, I guess I should say. And at some point I think I'll do the other seasons. I like them. I would probably just have to figure out what fabrics to do them in, because again, I like it in the black, but I don't stitch many things on the black fabric just because I like to add the extra color and have things play off of that color of fabric. So we'll see. But that's that one. So that one, yeah, this is the first time in 2021 you have seen this one. And another one of my pieces is going to be the same as well. So that was an old work in progress, brought back. This one is a brand new start. Since I was doing the giveaway for Autumn Harvest, I thought I had one for myself and I had a giveaway one. I said, why not stitch it myself? Just to show you all what it looks like, since you can't quite see part of it because the way it's finished. And I'm doing it in 18 count, so it's going to be super small. I mean, it's not huge anyway. If you were to do, say, a 14 count or a 28 count, it'd be 6 by 2.37. But because I'm doing it on an 18 count, it's about 4.5 to slightly under 2. So you get my point. It's gonna be tiny this way. But I thought it was cute and I thought I'd give it a go. So that's where it is. This is done on an 18 count. Let's see. What is this? This is Driftwood Tan from To Die For Fabrics. Now this is much darker than what you'll see it stitched on. If you can see there, that's a much lighter, do they say? It's a lamb's wool linen that they used. But it's a much lighter piece than this. There we go. But I decided I really like this color. It did mean I had to change a couple of pieces of floss. It is in Gentle Arts. It is charted in Gentle Arts. I am using the DMCs, as you know, I generally do. And what it was, the called for orange, oops, and yellow, and let me show you those, were these two. And I think it was on the called for, it would look lovely. But I put both of them in. I think there's one that was the leaf, and then I had done one of the letters. And they really looked kind of washed out and ho-hum on this darker shade of fabric. So I went to Michael's and I just looked at the oranges and the yellows. And I went with just bright fall sort of colors. Let me show you what I ended up with. So I ended up with 972 and 720, two standard kind of colors. But see, those will pop a lot more than these will. So that's what I ended up doing instead. And I think it'll be a lot of fun when it's completely finished. This was actually, this is a lot of stitching. This little house has multiple, 3, 4 colors and a lot of counting. So this took me way longer than I thought it would. Then I started with the letters. I was like, yeah, that's great. The lettering will go quick. And then down here will go probably quick as well too, because it's straight across. But it's a lot of fun. It's a cute little piece if you wanted to. If you wanted to finish it in a round, kind of around something, that's really cute. This would definitely go on a scrapbook page for me. And I thought this would be really cute if I was to take autumn pictures of leaves, of something in the month of September or October, and have this as like in the center of the picture and have of the page and have pictures around it. That would be really cute. When I think about my cross stitch scrapbook, I want it to be multimedia in a lot of ways, in the sense of I want stitching in there. I want to journal about things. For example, you know, if a piece is from a Stitchy friend, because some of these charts that you saw today were from gifts from Stitchy friends, I'd like to talk about that and have a way to remember their kindness. I want to add pictures. I want to just add, you know, whatever. So I want this to truly be interactive is my goal. We'll see if we get there. I have to find all of my supplies to do that. And I have to take pictures. But, you know, it's a good chance for me to get out and about now, you know? I mean, with kids, you're always doing stuff because their schedule kind of dictated yours. Now I have my own schedule and we can figure out things that we can do. And I've not experienced autumn here, so we'll see what it's like. I know what autumn is like in Connecticut. We'll see what it's like in Delaware. So that's where we are right now. It's a fun little stitch. It would be a very quick stitch if it was something you were looking for autumn. If you wanted a little decorative piece out and about, you know, along your decor for the house, it certainly wouldn't take that long to do. So that's that one. Then I had a second new start, and this piece was also from 2020. This piece has not seen any love in 2021, and now that we are into September, I thought, you know what, I need to bring this back. So I had started Halloween calendar from Tiny Modernist last year, and I want to say it was last, you know, I didn't check. I don't know if it was last September or if I actually started doing some of this in May of 2020, because I did a heavy autumn-based mania that year. I don't remember. I'm not stitching it as one piece. I'm stitching each one separately. What's going to happen with each one, I had two ideas. Obviously, more could come to me. One was to make them all into little tiny ornaments and stick them on like a tabletop tree. Whenever I may have one. I don't have one because I don't have furniture to put a tabletop tree on yet. Or I thought about also finishing them kind of like, not as ornaments, but along those lines, and having them some sort of banner type of thing. Because I did keep the numbers 1 to eventually 31 on there. So you could have them in a row. And because I wasn't sure which way I wanted to do it, I didn't all want to do them in one color. So I picked 3 different fabrics that I would do, as well as I'm going to use black fabric for some of them. Obviously for this one, I am definitely using black. I am not stitching all that black on a piece of fabric. Just that'd be a waste. I could just do all the eyes and the date, or yeah, the day, and put it on black. I think I'm going to look at this strategically. Probably some of these that are, you know, heavy on like a bright color would look good on a black fabric. So I'll end up with 4 different, with the black, 4 different colors. This time around, I pulled out my 3rd color. Let me show you the first 2 that I had done. And I didn't grab the names of those fabrics. If you want to know them, I will. I can always look in my book. So this was the first set. And basically what I did was, because I had cut these, I just did the 4 that would fit. So that's the first fabric color I chose. This is the second fabric color I chose. So I tried to choose things that would contrast with each other. And then the 3rd fabric that I had chosen last year, I was going through my fabrics and I actually found a gray that I preferred. So I hadn't started on that other one. So that worked out perfectly. And that's just what I did. So this is, because I was doing the different fabrics, 1, 2, I had stitched day 1, I had stitched day 2, and so then on the 3rd fabric would be day 3. So that's what I have. And this is 18 count Storm from Picture This Plus. I love this gray. It's a tiny, tiny piece. I'm really worried. I think some of the ones that are going to go on black would have been days on this gray, so that may work out for me. Because I had bought this from crossstitchingsupplies.com, and I recently checked, and she doesn't have any more of this on there at the moment. It's not even listed as sold out. It's not even listed under her 18 count. It is a great, great gray. I love this gray. And I have to say, for Picture This Plus, this is, and I don't know if it has to do with different colors dyed differently, if they've changed anything, but this, it's still a fairly floppy Ada, but the squares are not as floppy as, say, a shale that I've used in the past, or even the Jade, which is better than the shale that I used in the past. But this one is even less pull when I go to stitch on it. I love it. I love stitching it in hand because I do stitch in hand. So I need to find some more Storm 18 count Ada because I love it. And I love the gray. I think it's beautiful and would work really, really well for a lot of things. So that's what it looks like. So when you put the 3 together, and then of course you'll have a black. Let me do it. 3 days, day 1, 2, 3. Let's put those 3 together. So you'll see those are day 1, day 2, day 3. That will rotate, throw in some black fabric as well, and that's what those will look like when I'm eventually done. If I was to do a tabletop tree, if there was something up top that I could put, I would stitch this Happy Halloween up on top of it and place it on top somehow. I don't know if I can. With a banner, I wouldn't do that Happy Halloween probably at all. I mean, you could certainly, that'd be a great stitch on its own, especially if you wanted to frame it with like a picture or something. Or if I was to scrapbook it with a picture, I think that would be great. So that's another fun way. I love looking at patterns and seeing what I can take apart and bits and pieces I can do with them. So that's the ultimate plan and goal with this one. But this one was a start and a finish this week. That moon is no joke. There's multiple colors of yellow and slight oranges and that, and it's all DMC, Satsuma General. Well, no, that's Tiny Modernist. Satsuma, see, she's got the same kind of colors as Satsuma, and she does, you know, the nice card stock as like Satsuma. She gives DMC and anchor as options actually in this pattern. But I obviously just did the DMC because that's what I'm used to doing. And ironically enough, interesting, she does not do that dark color is actually 939. It's a very dark navy, like really, really dark navy, as opposed to a black. But it's cool and it kind of shows up a little bit different. So that was my start and my finish. And that is all my stitching. I did a lot this week. But super excited with my choices, super excited with what I chose this week. I have no idea what I'm going to do next week. I have so many that I really like stitching, and I've brought back, I have to go through, I think I have more started pieces that need work, but I can't find them. And I'm pretty sure I brought all of my stitching. Excuse me. Oh, allergies are getting to me again. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure I brought all my stitching down here to Delaware because I knew I'd be here for a longer stretch of time this time, but I don't know where it is. So I'll have to figure that one out. But anyway, we'll see. The one thing I do have planned for next week that kind of goes into shopping, because I bought one piece this week. I have one thing that I spent money on this week. It's a digital pattern, and I am planning on starting it. It is Jardin Privé, if I want to say it a little bit more fancy, Lady Halloween. So that's what she looks like. This was done, if you look on the website, and I'll link it down below. She shows it in a colorway of orange. The tickle in the throat is what gets me. It's almost like, I always describe it as it feels like you have dust in your throat. I don't know. But I get that tickle right around allergy season. And it just, anyway. So she shows it in an orange colorway as well. That's why this one looks a little darker. And then in a light kind of color. So that's my plan. And Gail Phillips, who has a Flosstube, and I'm going to link her down below, said that she would stitch it with me. Because I said, hey, if anybody wants to stitch it, let me know. And we are going to do a hashtag, because why not, right? It is hashtag Lady Halloween SAL, stitch along. And that's why she's called Lady Halloween. I did a quick search on Instagram for that hashtag, because you always have to do that. Sometimes you never know what shows up under certain hashtags that you do not want to be associated with. So I looked that one up, nothing showed up. So I figured we were safe. So if you decide you would like to stitch this, join us. It is done, so she charts it in black and a light and dark gray, but she does tell you, and in the chart itself, I'm not going to show you because this is just a digital, she'll say in the chart, she'll show mini pieces of some of the stitch parts and say, if you want it all monochromatic and you want it all in one color, this is what to do, which I thought was great. And she just shows those pieces. So that is the option. I don't know if I'm going to do completely monochromatic. I'll grab the two grays. It's 317, 318. It's not, I probably have them in my stash of DMC, and I'll throw them on there and see what I think, or if I just want to go straight black. I haven't decided. I am, instead of 310, I'll use Anchor, because that's my black floss of choice. Now, and Gail is doing it in silk, so it's going to be beautiful. And she sent me a picture of the fabric that she's going to use. That's really cool too. You're gonna have to watch her to see. I don't know. I know she's starting it soon. Whether it would be on her next floss tube or not, I don't know. But keep your eyes peeled because it is gonna look so beautiful. So I knew I wanted to do this one on a purple, and I had 3 choices that I pulled out. I have purples that I've not really used, so I figured I would pull them out. These were the 3. I felt like Goldilocks. I was like, 2 gray, 2 blue, 2 this with my purples. So this one was a little lighter than I wanted to go, so that was the first one to go. So then it was between these 2. And I decided that I really wanted something bright. So this is the one that made the cut. And so this is what I'll do it on. I think it would look great on all 3, I think. But I thought this one was a lot of fun. And you know what? I've got to use these fabrics. So let's go for it. So I'm adding in some kind of bright, fun purple color. And that's what she will be stitched on, is that. And I would like to start that this week. So that is my plan. That is my plan and my shopping all rolled into one, because that's it. That's all I did. I didn't do any. I think I have waiting for me in the held mail I know I have my Stitch Me fabric of the month because I didn't think ahead and switch where to send it for last month. And I don't know if I have any others. So might be a little surprised when we go to pick up our held mail what I might have. We'll see. So I might have some good shopping to show you one of these videos. So anyway, giveaways. Let's talk giveaways. First thing I want to do is to remind last week's giveaway winner that I haven't heard from you. Now, if you tried sending me and for some reason I didn't get it, please let me know. Please send again, obviously, but also please add a comment to your comment to say, hey, I did send you my name, because after 2 weeks, I do choose another winner. So I had a copy of this Autumn Harvest, and S. Vance, see, I always put stuff in if I can, so I know who's who. S. Vance, you won this last week. I pulled your name, so you have 1 more week to get back to me. And if you've changed your mind or something, you can also say, you know, hey, sometimes people get things in the interim, or they say, you know what, I changed my mind. That's fine. That's no biggie. Let me know that too if you want. But if I don't hear from you by next video, I will choose another name from the people that had requested to win this one. So, but it's yours. It's yours and ready to go for another week. I did find I can ship from here. I brought down my shipping scale so I can mail everything, and then I print off my labels, and the mailman here is so much nicer. So I was able to put it in the mailbox, and he scanned it. The last thing I had to send, he scanned it and did whatever. Up in Connecticut, well, before he retired, we had kind of a grumpy, he was grumpy. And if things weren't perfect, he wouldn't even deliver our mail. I mean, we had to actually shovel around the mailbox. Like, you wouldn't believe how much we had to do. And he just wouldn't do any extra things. And now we don't have anybody regular, so I always drop things off at the post office, but now I can just put them in my mailbox because I don't even know where the local post office here. I have to find that. But anyway, but I am able to ship from here, so I will be doing shipping. I brought down some of my shipping materials, so I can do that. So, S. Vance, 1 more week. Okay, then, oh, I hope that clap wasn't loud. This week's giveaway for the name was the is it called Needle Dome? Dome threaded needle case. So, is what we have up for giveaway this week. And I love all the pets everybody has. That is so awesome. I loved reading your stories and all of that great stuff. So thank you for playing along. And this week's winner, let me grab a name, separate. I throw them in after I write the names, and then sometimes I don't necessarily, so I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets a fair shot. Is there 2 there? There's 2 there. Okay, 1, we have 1 left. And Jennifer Beelman. Let me put it against the purple fabric, actually. Jennifer Beelman, you have won. Congratulations. So, as I stated before, you have 2 weeks to get back to me. and I would love to mail that to you. So you can send me your address either through the Gmail, Stitching by the Shore, you can see it down below, or you can DM me on Instagram, Paper Laura, and send me your address, and I would be happy to send that out to you. I will put your name right with it and hold it, so that when I hear from you, I can send it out. So that's that. Congratulations, Jennifer. And I'd be interested to see what you think about it when you start using it. I haven't used mine yet. I didn't have anything that I was stitching that. So it's still in the plastic. It'll get there. All right, so I'm gonna put that there so I know to keep those. All right, now this week's giveaway. Since we're in September, and you know what, it is in the plastic, but it is a nice tight plastic. So I'm gonna leave it for now, unless we can't see it. If we can't see it, then I will take it out. Since we're in September, I've been kind of really with the fall, autumn stitching and so on and so forth. So I was looking through what I had, and this is a cute little chart that I thought maybe somebody would like to stitch. It's called September Brings. It's from Bent Creek, and it is part of their snaps. Part of the chart is on the back, but I just wanted to show you. The snaps are in there, so you do have the snaps, because if you see, there's a couple of those there. So you get the chart and the snaps that it calls for. It's charted in Gentle Art and Weeks, but it is a DMC alternative. Stitched on 32 count. It's a 3.1 by 3.1, so 3 by 3 basically, is what it looks like. But it's called September Brings, and it has a nice little kind of cornucopia. So in order to win this, two things. As always, I ask everybody a question, and then for those of you who want to be put into the giveaway, you also say a word along with your answered question, just so I know. And I always look for that word, and that's the word that I search for in the comments, and that's how I get the names. So since we are in September, I wanted to know, what is your favorite September activity? And I answered it that way because I realize that there are many of you that do not have fall, or not going into autumn right now, because we have people all over the world and have different seasons. And I'd like to know what you do in September. What is your favorite activity in this month? I know in the US, a lot of them are going to be autumn activities, but I would love to hear some of the other things. I'm curious I'm curious for us for this fall, obviously, because we are in a different place, and we don't have we haven't had young kids for a while, but you still did kind of kid stuff. So I need to explore what's around and what kind of things. I think tomorrow morning we might be going to the beach, which is a little different than I've ever done. That's really not a September activity, but maybe it is down here. I don't know. But what's your favorite September activity? And if you would like me to put your name in for the giveaway, then also add the word dinner, D-I-N-N-E-R. The reason a lot of times I try to do a word that goes with whatever I'm giving away. But I realize that sometimes that means some of you have to tap dance around the fact that I don't want the giveaway, but I want to answer your question, and that word is in there. So this time I'm throwing a completely different word out, dinner. I don't know, unless maybe there's some sort of special dinners you do in September, but I figure that's a little different. We plan on seeing Mo's cousin and her husband tonight for dinner, so that's what made me think of the word for this week. But anyway, favorite September activity and the word dinner, and that's it. All right, so that's all the stitching. I had a lot of actual stitching this week, which was really kind of cool. So I hope you liked what you saw. If you don't want to stay for the very short life stuff, then have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time you stop by for stitching. All right, what happened life-wise? I am in Delaware. I will be in Delaware probably for the entire month of September. Knock on wood, short of there being any problems, emergencies, or issues. So super excited about that, because that'll be the longest that I have ever spent down here. Usually it's a week, pop down, and then go back, because there was always kid stuff. Connor doesn't really have any breaks. He did have a day off for Labor Day, but it wasn't really enough to come home. He's discovered in Worcester they have the shuttles to all of the colleges, and he has some friends in another college, so he actually hopped on the shuttle and went and visited other friends from his high school. So that was kind of cool. I was kind of like, where are you? Because he's asking about Venmo, because, you know, they all Venmo each other. Somebody pays for something and then they all Venmo each other. And he was asking about his Venmo. And I'm like, well, where are you that you know? And he was telling me, how did you get there? He's like, oh yeah, I found the shuttle, I hopped on. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So anyway, that was his big activity. Megan, of course, with the season for sports, she may have had no classes, but she always has practice usually if there's not a game. So she would have been busy with that. Of course, now we are like 3 weeks into the season, or back to school, whatever. And this happened every year in the sports. Like, not so much like Connor was always a theater kid. He did sports, and then he kind of just went, they got to the point where you kind of had to choose, which I thought was really sad, because you'd love the kids to be able to do everything that they love. But anyway, he chose the theater, and I didn't notice it so much in theater, but in sports I noticed it. About 3 weeks into school, the entire team would get sick. It was like clockwork. And so we talked to Megan this week. Everybody's sick, Mom. Okay, great. Get tested? Yes. You know, normally, obviously, it would be a cold, whatever. And she's like, nope, we were all tested. None of us have COVID. They literally are just giving each other that back to school, around each other, hanging out all the time, practicing cold that you get every single year. So, and they had a game this week. So obviously the school was very, very vigilant. One of the girls was like, I was tested so many times and I was negative every time. The school was very vigilant in making sure they were indeed negative, multiple tests, because they weren't going to bring in another school and have that contact. So I am reasonably very confident that she just has a cold. We did go visit and just watch the game. You don't really visit, but it was a beautiful day. It was a little hot, actually, to be honest with you. Beautiful day, their first home game. I did have on my stories, I showed a few pictures. They won. Megan got some playing time. It's a big team. But he seems to be pretty good about rotating when the games get in conference. We'll see. But I said, you know what? Just go out there, have fun. That's the most thing, you know, good luck and have fun. That's always what we say before a game. Good luck and have fun. So it was great. And then, like I said, they have the food and stuff. I generally don't eat most of it because I can't, being vegan, but I figure it's for the kids anyway, you know, because they have a little bit of everything. Sometimes I try to bring something that is allergen friendly, because there are some gluten-free issues and some lactose issues. So I always try to do that, being cognizant that for me, I can't always go places and eat. So I try to be aware of that, so that if any of these girls have allergies, it's always nice to bring something that they know that they could eat. But yeah, so it was really nice. And yeah, I'm, you know, texting Megan basically, and how you doing and stuff. And she's like, between all of my friends, we have basically a pharmacy of stuff, so we're doing okay. They're just kind of trying this, trying that. But you know, it's that September cold. It brings them down every single year. It's almost like it is like clockwork. It's amazing to me. But so hopefully, I told her, go to bed early, which is kind of like trying to tell a college kid to go to bed early. For them, that's like 1 a.m. But I was like, go to bed early, just get lots of sleep, drink lots of liquids, and eat right, because that helps too, don't eat the junk food. So anyway, she's old enough now, she's gonna do what she's gonna do. So, but it was nice to get a chance to see the kids play. And the way the games fall, we're not gonna see as many as we were hoping. The away games are a bit far from us, even though we're closer here in Delaware than we would be in Connecticut. But, they do stream everything, so we'll be able to see it that way, and we'll get to as many as we can. So that was my big adventure for the week. Super exciting, right? But anyway, it was nice. It was nice to get out and have a little trip, and everything's outside. We were talking with the athletic director, and she said it's so great with the outdoor sports because everybody is outside and you don't have to worry about all the indoor stuff. They have a lot of plans for things like volleyball, And they have all the mitigation strategies and so on and so forth. But with the outdoor sport, it makes life a little bit easier for them. So that was kind of cool. And I don't go a lot of places, but the fact that I could be outside and I was, you know, we kind of sat, it was like a little tiny hill. We sat on the hill with Shamrock and we're kind of away from people. So I was able to go out and about and talk with people, but also be kind of cognizant of my surroundings. So that was kind of nice because I don't do a lot. I haven't been out and about much. So anyway, that was my week. That was my super excitement of the week. And like I said, we are going to have some, just a nice little outdoor dinner with Mo's cousin and her husband tonight. So that's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. They're fun to talk to. And I don't know what the week's gonna bring otherwise. I think again tomorrow morning we might stop by the beach and head out to the beach. I don't think dogs are quite allowed yet at the beach. I don't think it's till October. And I know people do it, but I'm a rule follower. If you haven't noticed that by now, I figured, you know, there are people that might be afraid of dogs and so on and so forth. Even little dogs like Shamrock. I know people who are afraid that, you know, the fear is real. So I'll wait till October and when things are quieter and so off, and then we might try to bring him as well. He's never been, so I don't know exactly how he would do, but we'll see. But that's the extent of my plans right now, and starting my Lady Halloween stitch. I'm super, super excited about that. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope you're getting lots of stitching in and doing all the good stuff. And I'm thinking about you, and I am stitching watching many of you who have channels as well. Although I am behind, I'm really behind. It seems to snowball. So I have got a list that I do want to watch, so I'm slowly working my way through. I am using the Janet Jabber trick of speeding it up to like 1.25, unless they're a really fast talker, then I keep it. But if someone's a little bit slower talker, I do speed the video up a little bit, and that helps, and so I can see some more. But anyway, I'm just rambling now, so I hope you are doing great, and until next time, happy stitching.